Would you like to know some of the secrets it takes to win in sports and in business? If so, then this week's book breakdown is just for you, and it starts right now. Hi guys, welcome back. This is book 2 of the 50 book challenge that I'm going to read and break down this year just for you guys. Today's book is Leading with the Heart by Coach K. It's Successful Strategies for Basketball, Business, and Life. It's 310 pages, copyrighted in 2000. I'd rate it about a 9 out of 10. And I think the recommended audience for this book would definitely be coaches and business professionals and people that are just looking to grow their leadership skills. Let's get into it. All right, starting off, we're going to go with one of my first points here. As you can see, lots to share with you there. All right, so one of the first things is, the truth is that many people set rules to keep them from making decisions. Not me. I don't want to be a manager or a dictator. I want to be a leader, and leadership is ongoing, adjustable, flexible, and dynamic. As such, leaders have to maintain a certain amount of discretion. Have you ever felt like you were in a box? Have you felt like you've been putting your people in a box? If so, it's time to break out. So we emphasize at our initial team meeting that the new guys are not just joining a basketball team, but a basketball family. We then hand out laminated cards that include the home and business phone numbers of every member of the team, including players, assistant coaches, and so on. We say, carry this card around, and whenever you're in harm's way, make a call. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're in trouble, someone on this card will help you. When there's a chance to make a mistake, remember that you're part of a family. Remember that you're not alone. And remember that whatever happens to you happens to all of us. So right away we start hearing some of his secrets is treating this like a family and having support and staying connected. By the way, if you don't know who Coach K is, he's won 5 national championships. His teams at Duke have won 12, have been to the 12 Final Fours. They've won 12 ACC regular season titles. They've won the ACC tournament 14 times. He's helped Team USA win 3 gold medals, and he has the most wins in college basketball ever and the second most college national championships ever. So this is a person that knows all about winning, and we're getting some insights into his mind and his organization. And I think you guys will agree that mindset is everything. And if you want to know how to win in what you're doing and how to grow, find some people that have already done it. 1, copy what they did or are doing, but 2, and often overlooked, but even more important, is get to understand their mindset. What do they say? What do they think? What do they do? What do they read? What do they listen to? And copy that. All right? The next point is, when you first assemble a group, it's not a team right off the bat. It's only a collection of individuals. That's where it all starts. Leaders have to search for the heart of the team, because the person who has it can bring out the best in everybody else. And sometimes a loss can be a win. Let's find out more. So under trusting relationships, it says almost everything in leadership comes back to relationships. Now it's interesting, right? Because I remember reading a book a while back, maybe 8 years ago, and some of it was cautioning, if you want to make it to the top of the ladder, that maybe you're not having as close-knit relationships or going out afterwards or spending some casual time with people, where everything I've learned since then says pretty much the opposite. Leaders have to give time for relationships, but more demands will be placed on their time as they become more successful. So if a person's success is based on developing relationships, then they have to continually find new ways to get it done. Have you guys seen that in your life, where you're getting more successful, more things are coming on your plate, and you have to adjust, you have to live by your schedule even more. And what's interesting is you have to learn to say no to more things. Anyone had that happen? All right, next point. Here's a good quote. Hey, there are 5 fundamental qualities that make every team great. So write these down. Communication, trust, collective responsibility, caring, and pride. So I like to think of each as a separate finger on a fist. Any one individually is important, but all of them together are unbeatable. Remember, you develop a team to achieve what one person cannot accomplish alone. All of us alone are weaker by far than all of us together. You've seen that in sports with Michael Jordan, and when he had Scottie Pippen, the team, they dominated. And Kobe Bryant, when he had Shaquille O'Neal and them, and dominated. And Dwayne Wade, and then you brought LeBron with Kyrie Irving. Look, we can do a lot on our own. We have to grow individually. But no one does anything humongous, enormous, significant, or terribly significant without teams. Why do you think Grammy and Emmy Awards and these award shows, they're bringing teams on stage. They're naming 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people that supported them, starting usually with parents or siblings, but there are managers and there are coaches and there are colleagues and there are directors and all these people. So you gotta develop a team attitude and have a team around you. Confidence shared is better than confidence only in yourself. Confrontation simply means meeting the truth head on. I think that society has gotten a little softer where we don't want critique or feedback, or confrontation is so uncomfortable that we avoid it. But iron sharpens iron. When you have love and trust of team and family and friends, and they can give you the truth, and sometimes it's hard to hear, isn't that what really makes you better? Doesn't that take you leaps and bounds farther than just somebody saying, yes, 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 you're great, nothing to improve? So check out this story. He says, all right guys, this is during practice. Hold up, I say calmly as I interrupt the practice. Stride onto the court and single out Brian Davis. Brian, you know what? We're gonna have a big operation right now. And Brian says, what's that, coach? We're going to remove your head from your rear end right now. Suddenly you can hear a pin drop in the gymnasium as all the players just stare at me with grim faces. Now you can help me with this operation or I can do it alone. It's your choice, but in the next 30 seconds, your head better be out of your rear end. Do you understand? So here's some tough coaching, right? Brian says, yes, sir. You're catching the ball and then you're getting ready to make a move. You should not do that in stages. It should be done in one fluid motion. It's called thinking. And right now, you catch the ball and you think. I want you to be thinking as you're catching the ball. Do you understand? Yes, coach. Your head has to be in the ball game all the time. You have to concentrate all the time. Okay, let's try it a couple times. As we run the drill, with all the players watching intently as Davis progresses, Brian starts to get it right. And here's a key point, guys. Good, now you're thinking, I exclaim. Do you know how much better a player you are when you think? I love who you are when you think. I want you to be a good basketball player all the time. Is that what you want? Yes. Well then think. Think all the time. Some hard coaching, right? But there's some breakdown, there's some honest truth, and then what? Praise and recognition. But look at this. Later in the practice, it could be 2 minutes or 20 minutes later, when Brian makes a good catch of the ball, I'll interrupt again, only this time I'll praise him further. Yes, unbelievable. Did we get that on tape? The operation was a success. Brian, how does it feel to have your head out of your rear end and moving freely? Now all the guys are laughing and Brian has a big smile on his face. After practice, I know exactly what's going to happen, and probably what some of you are thinking, but the players will gather around Davis in the locker room. Hey Brian, someone will say, Coach was pretty rough on you. Yeah, but he was right, Brian will respond. I wasn't catching the ball properly. I had my head in my rear end. And one of the freshmen might say, my high school coach never did anything like that. Well, you're not in high school anymore, Brian will fire back. you should want the coach to correct your mistakes. Guys, we have to be willing for corrections. You should want him to make you better, because when you get better, we all get better. Coach says, I know exactly what was going to happen with the head out of your rear end incident because I had set it up prior to practice. I had a pact with Brian Davis that went something like this. If I get on you, you can't show even the slightest hint that you know it's coming. And when you get back in the locker room, you can't call me an SOB. In return, you'll be helping me teach the team something, and they'll see your strength. Brian agreed to the deal because he was a leader on our team. In fact, he was one of the team captains from 91 to 92. He already had a certain amount of trust and credibility built up with the younger guys because he was one of the guys. It was an effective teaching tool for me because it was not the head coach telling the team something, it was the team telling the team. Now, it's awesome that he's a tough leader. It's also awesome that he praises. Of course, we need to learn when and where to do that. But he was creative with how he went about getting others involved to build levels of leadership and to have the voice being echoed and social proof and coming from peers as well as the person up. Now here's this concept that he talks about many times in this book. You might write this down, the fist, okay? And he says, I look at members of our team like 5 fingers of a hand. Some hands have small fingers that easily come together as a fist. Other hands have very large fingers, but if they come together as a fist, they probably won't be as powerful as the smaller hand that does. In other words, if 5 talented individuals don't perform as a team, they may not be as strong as 5 less talented individuals who do. Any one fist can break any one finger. Therefore, my goal as a leader is to create a dominant team where all 5 fingers together are into a powerful fist. In general, I want to constantly improve so that we will be at our best during the last stages of the regular season. To make that happen, I try to create an identity of teamwork. As soon as a team achieves a group mentality, it can also assume a group identity, and then any combination of 5 players can play as one. There are 5 fundamentals, we said them before, but those qualities that make up a great team are communication, trust, collective responsibility, caring, and pride. Later on he says, I believe, however, that confrontation is good for people. A leader does not beat those things by just hugging them and letting go as far as obstacles and fears. He says if Johnny Dawkins, who was a phenomenal player, missed 4 shots in a row during a key game, I would call him over and say something to him. Johnny, next time down, I want you to take another shot. Be confident you're going to make the next shot. I don't want a kid to carry any baggage forward. Each play is a new play. In truth, I was always reminding Johnny Dawkins to believe that his 5th shot was his first shot. And it's the same in business. If a company's best salesperson has just come in 2nd place 4 straight times, should the supervisor ignore it? Should he say, thanks for coming in 2nd? Or should he sit down and offer the salesperson some encouragement and confidence? Look, I know you're better than that. I don't want you to be discouraged. Don't fear for your job because I am behind you. I want you to go back out there and give it your best shot again. Your 5th shot is your first shot. A face-to-face situation like this is just as much a confrontation as anything else. In fact, confrontation simply means meeting the truth head on. Besides, true friends will tell each other tough things. Isn't that good? Alright guys, that concludes part 1 of 3. Go ahead and click the button on the screen now to go to part 2.